Scratching. Damn it, scratching in the walls again. This damn rat is going to be the end of me. I pull my half-asleep arm out of my twisted blankets and check the time. 2:57. Why humans need to sleep, I'll never know. Scratching. Why does the rat always come at night? I'm here all day long, but I never hear it. And then 11 p.m. rolls around and this endless shifting, gnawing, and scratching starts right up. Last night it was under the tub, the night before in the kitchen, and the night previous I heard it under my desk in the back office. It only ever seems to be one, though. This solitary rat must be prepping for a surprise metropolis in the walls for the big rat move-in of 2021. I roll over, facing the wall where the sound is coming from. The sound of little furniture scuffing the floor of the rodent complex. And I'm half expecting tiny drills and saws to start at any moment. Perhaps as a courtesy to their giant cohabitant, they decided to save heavy construction until I'm out at the grocery store buying food they can't wait for me to throw away. I'm feeding their colony when I suddenly decide the pork chops look a little weird, so I can excuse a delivery from Bubba Burger. I could eat Bubba Burger right now. I hate waking up like this. My brain jumps right into mid-morning action. All right, everyone, sudden jolt awake. Let's not waste time here. Frontal lobe, we're going to have some updates for you soon. Get ready to make decisions on work projects, major life goals, what to have for dinner. Okay, buddy? We're leaning towards burgers today. Temporal, what are you feeling today, huh? Anger? Sounds good. Let's brew on that a little bit. Pituitary, how's that arousal coming? Well, let's work on that, please. This is the middle of the night. Things should be up and running for no apparent reason at all. Okay, pal, I'm a little disappointed I had to remind you. You in the back, let's get those eyes focused. Looks a little fuzzy out the front. And brainstem, keep being you, baby. You keep us all up and running. We need you. You're important, okay? Who's next? These are the sorts of things that happen when I awake at an odd hour. But tonight is different. As my brain kicks into full panic over the 257 things I wanted to think about in the morning, the part that controls my hearing and my problem solving realized that the scratching actually isn't coming from the wall. No, this time the sound is bouncing off the wall. From under the bed. As if startled by my silent reasoning, the sound stops, leaving nothing but the mild ringing of my tinnitus. Moments like this are difficult to track through time. Pauses, true pauses, can sometimes feel like the entire planet has stopped. Cars and trucks frozen on the highway, waterfalls silent and still, even the people in the International Space Station floating freely no more. Inertia snapping into total stillness the moment the scratching in my room stopped. And so am I. Stopped. Clinging to my pillow, eyes dilated, staring into the full-length mirror door of my closet, trying to visualize the finer details of what is under my bed in the darkest of dark parts of my room. I try my best not to blink and will my night vision into existence. Maybe all the carrots I eat really do have an effect, or the clouds happen to have uncovered the moon. Regardless, my thoughts were interrupted by the now unmistakable vision of the bony tail wagging between the guitar case and my old tax returns. It hadn't been scratching tonight. Maybe it never had been. Maybe it had always been whatever is attached to that tail. That is a tail, isn't it? Dragging back and forth against the floor with the sound of a pearl necklace. My brain thinks tail because of the movement, but could a snake be that bony? No, wait, do snakes have bones? Not important. Very not important, because now there's wheezing. Thick, long, horrible breaths like purring. Not cat purring, but thick mucus purring, like when Aunt Mariel got pneumonia and kept the whole house awake that night before she drowned in her own fluids. That deep, sick purring coming from the one gross kid on the playground when you show up to your nephew's 4th birthday party, and all you wanted was a little bit of cake, but this bubble-nosed snot kid is touching all the forks. The kind of purring that's borderline unbearable in normal situations, but debilitating when it's coming from under your own bed. The tail stops wagging and slips into the deep black, with the sound of knees and elbows shuffling on the wooden floor. I wonder if whatever that is might come up the back of my bed, but the sound of the vibrating breath quickening keeps my senses focused. The thing didn't travel, just repositioned. Rotated. It somehow knew I saw it, or maybe that was part of the plan all along, like an anglerfish dangling something small, trying to lure me into the mouth of a much larger beast. That theory dissipates as the eyes flash back at me from where the tail had been, 2 green holograms catching the moon at just the right angle. The purring stops. Our eyes meet, and so does our stillness. I think about talking gently the way you would with a scared, trapped animal, but the grin. A mouth, human in form but wider, filled with canines like somebody won the Oops All Marshmallows Lucky Charms competition for teeth. These aren't lettuce teeth. These were made for shredding flesh.
You're gonna want the lights on when you meet the Ohno man.
The childlike voice sings from the shadows.
You're gonna want the lights on when you meet the Ohno man.
What are you? Heavy purring wheezes from the throat of the creature, elbows and knees knocking on the floor as it army crawls out from the dark underbelly of my bed. Rising to all fours, it shakes violently with the sound of crust-covered ears slapping its neck. Flesh clung tight to bone. No muscle tissue at all, a rib cage, knuckly tail, little tiny flightless wings like leather stretching on their own way up high on its spine. And a concave lack of belly. Maybe its teeth aren't for flesh either, but for souls. It turns to look at me with eyes bulging in the tightly stretched skin over a humanesque skull, and that mouth, that lipless, gaping, oozing mouth. This is a demon dog from hell.
You're gonna want the lights on when you meet the Ohno man.
Talons gripping the floorboard, it reaches to meet me face to face with a grin like a tooth-filled wound and a deep, long purr.
He's not going to wait.
Its eyes are twice the size of mine on its little round face, like fat black horse eyes forced into the skull of a human.
Let's go see.
I pull my sheets up in a childlike wish that this would all go away, that the covers would protect me, but a long nail slits them open to reveal that grinning thing again. Stupid. I wince, throwing up my hands in defense as the claw comes shooting down, puncturing my palm, hooking through and out of my wrist. Hot blood running down my arm and drizzling my chest.
You're gonna want the lights on when you meet the Ohno man.
That's when it begins to pull. The pain shooting through my body like electricity. Impossible to fight. I drop out of bed and crawl alongside the beast like a marionette on my elbows and knees, trying to anticipate the movement in an attempt to ease some of the pain.
You're gonna want the lights on when you meet the Ohno man.
You're gonna want the lights on when you meet the Ohno man. No. Oh no, please. Leave me alone. Out the bedroom door, leaking blood in puddles on the hallway runner, it drags me into the bathroom where my nose is kicked in by a hot smell of sulfur. The dog man tosses me inside into a pile of sleepy, bloody self on the floor, and closing the door behind it, leaps up on the toilet for a better view. Boiling, thick, steaming sounds are coming from the sink. The soft glow of the basin creating a fuzzy wall of orange on the fogged mirror. A pop, and something black shoots into the air and lands next to my good hand with a spat and sizzles into the floor, cooling into a hard black rock. The creature is purring again, purring with excitement. I can't lay on the floor forever. I hold my wounded hand close and push up with my other, slowly standing to where I can see hot magma boiling in the sink. Boiling and growing. Something's coming out of it. Round like a ball, rising, steadily rising. charred black with orange cracks still rising as the lava pours down and slows from the cool air of the bathroom. A man's head begins to form and then shoulders rising, towering over me. The heat from the growing body singeing my eyelashes, mutating them into smelly curls that poke my eyeballs. My skin could melt at any moment. Waist down, still in the gurgling lava, the man pulls his hands free, resting them on the edge of the sink, and leans his dark, glowing face towards mine, opening his beautiful human eyes, ice blue set on white, clean, perfect, filled with emotions and feelings.
Lights on!
The creature announces. Oh no! I cry out, but it's too late. The room is filled with blinding light as the Ohno man lifts his hands and grips the side of my head, instantly penetrating my skin and bone and setting my brain on fire. First there's white, then there's green, then patterns, millions of patterns swarming, swirling, fast, a lightning bolt expressway through space and time. Instant transcendence into the highest level of being, or not being. Fractals. Endless fractals in impossible colors morphing into faces, souls reaching, begging, help. They need help, but they aren't crying out. They're frozen, melted into the rocky walls that I'm now falling down. Down. Faster, gaining momentum, reaching hands, screaming faces, blurring into a gray wall of ash, almost solid, before slowing down. Slowing as we approach the ground, slowing to see the thousands of petrified people now reaching down, towards something. One thing, a statue, a body, my body. My solidified soul standing at the bottom of this human well, centered, glowing, hot orange, hands on temples, mouth agape in a painful, helpless cry, and I watch as the glow subsides and my body turns to stone and the whole room goes dark. Black. Blacker than black. Fading to nothingness. Until I realize that my eyes are closed, and the sheets are over my head, and the fan in the window is off, and the room is far too hot, and my arm is asleep under my snoring dog. Or is that purring? This story was originally written for the Knowing My Nightmares podcast. If you want to know more about the Knowing My Nightmares podcast, you can hear the entire episode on the Haunting Season podcast today. Haunting Season was created by me, Joshua Sterling Bragg, and is a joint production of Believe Limited and Matt Geelan. Executive produced by Matt Geelan, Ryan Geelan, and Patrick James Lynch, and produced by Greg Holdsman. Creative support by Mel Forrest, Cody Dugan, Courtney Barber, and Jessica Richmond, and the Haunting Season theme song and other select music is made by North Innsbruck. The editing and sound design is done by Colby Crow. This episode was written, performed, and directed by Joshua Sterling Bragg. If you liked today's episode, please subscribe and visit the official Haunting Season TikTok for daily horror movie reviews, hauntings, folklore, and urban legends.